What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Tuesday night virtual experience. I'm so tickled. It's good to be here with you tonight, and certainly praying that all of you are having a fantastic week so far. It's just Tuesday, and if you're on the East Coast, Southeast, you've probably been in a little bit of snow the last couple of days. But just prayerful that everything is going well for you and your family. Listen, we got part 3 of Unshakable Faith tonight. Part 3 of Unshakable Faith is tonight. And I tried to let Sunday be the end of this. But if you have been here for parts 1 and 2, we've been talking about money, cars, clothes, and nothing else. We've been talking about faith. And it's been a powerful lesson and experience that we've had because faith is really fundamental. It is. Faith is truly fundamental to everything that we believe, everything that we say we believe as believers. Our faith is fundamental to that. And I promise you, we started this last Tuesday. My goal was to go through all of this last Tuesday, and I should have known better. This word has been so rich. That there was really no way. Everything that we've covered Tuesday, everything that we covered this past Sunday, there is really no way we could have gotten through all of this in one Tuesday night. So again, it was not my intention to create a 3-part series on faith, but I'm telling you, if there is a series, a message you need to go back and listen to again, it's this one. Because I'm telling you, you ain't making no kind of moves, you ain't making no kind of waves in your life if faith is not present. You can't even say you believe God if you don't have faith. And we made that really clear the last 2 sessions. So tonight, I want to finish up Romans chapter 10. That's where I'm going to be. Romans chapter 10, verse 13 through 17. I'm going to be in the New Living Translation. We're going to finish this up tonight. And then maybe we can move on to something else on Sunday. But it is good to see all of you virtually. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's walk through the networks really quickly. So that we can start on time and we can teach and get out of your way. Facebook, good evening to you. Thanks so much for tuning in via Facebook. Those of you that are on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, make sure you say good evening in the chat area. Make sure you say good evening to us. If you like this channel, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you have loved our ministry, hit the like button, hold it down, turn it to a love button. Hit that share button, hit the @ symbol, and then tag 5 people. And tell 5 of your friends on Facebook to tune in right now that the Rehab Christian Center is live and on the air. And we're going to deal with part 3 of Unshakable Faith. We're going to try to close this series tonight. I ain't got but 5 verses, but it's going to take the whole time. Because again, if you've been here for parts 1 and 2, this has been a very rich life study series that was very unintended, but so very rich and so very fundamental to all of our lives. So thank you, Facebook, for tuning in and for joining us tonight. Instagram, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you that are on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, do me a favor, fill it up with hearts. Let me know you're there. Make sure you say good evening in the chat area if you're on Instagram. And then if you're also on Instagram, why don't you hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people and tell them to tune in tonight to part 3 of Unshakable Faith. There has to be somebody on your friends list, that needs this message on faith tonight. And just as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, faith is just so fundamental to everything you do. You can't be saved without faith. You can't start a business without faith. You can't have no man without faith. And there ain't nothing you can do really in your life without faith being at the core of who you are and what it is that you believe. And so share this video tonight. We're going to drop some more nuggets tonight. It's going to be powerful. And I'm excited that you've joined us. Instagram, YouTube, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. You can find us on YouTube at TheREHABCC. That's at TheREHABCC on YouTube. You can find us there. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell notification icon so that every time we go live, you'll get a notification on your tablet, your cell phone, whatever, alerting you, letting you know that Rehab is on the air. Whew. Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm tired. But thank you so much for tuning in, YouTube. And again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, make sure you do that right away. All right, y'all. I got 8:13. I'm ready to dive into this. The shot clock has started, and I want to get into this message. We're going to deal with part 3 of unshakable faith. I want you to type that in the comments now. Unshakable faith. Keep inviting people as we get started. I know my Instagram church will be late. Facebook's been late here for the last couple of weeks. I don't know what's going on. I think it's cold and y'all just booed up, taking y'all time. I don't know what it is. But I want you to go ahead and keep tagging people. But I want to get into this tonight. Part 3, unshakable faith. Type the subject in the comments so that everybody that's watching the replay can see the notes and be able to follow along with what we're saying on tonight. I am going to be in Romans chapter 10. Romans chapter 10, verse 13 is where we're going to start. All right. Romans chapter 10, verse 13 is where we're going to start. Now, remember, we talked a lot on Sunday. About a lot of different things. From in God, there is no favorites to anything worth having is worth waiting for. We talked about believing and expectation and behavior. There's so many things that we talked about. I highly recommend that you go back and watch parts 2 and part 1 if you have not seen them, because I don't want to regurgitate that tonight. I want to try my best to finish this up tonight. We talked about a lot of things, but here's a really good place to start with, again, just as a fundamental reminder. That is, when it comes to salvation, when it comes to saying you are saved, you cannot claim to be saved without faith. Right? Let's just put that in the comments now. Let's remind people that are watching. Let's remind ourselves. I want you to put in the comments now. You cannot be saved without faith. Period. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care how you dice it. The only way you can tell me you believe in a God you can't see, that you can't see, touch, taste, smell, or, well, you can hear, but y'all get my point. The only way you can say you believe in a God like that on that level is that it requires faith, right? And so without faith, it is impossible. It is impossible to claim salvation. You simply cannot be saved without faith. Now, when we understand that you cannot be saved without faith, then you understand that at the core of who we are as spiritual beings having a natural experience. Man, I feel like teaching tonight. As spiritual beings having a natural experience, you understand that at the core of who you are spiritually, if at the core of who you are spiritually is your faith, then that faith then should serve as a foundation to everything else you do. All right. And again, I know that may have sounded like a mouthful, but hear me. We are all spiritual beings having natural experiences. Okay. I want you to record this. You're going to be by far the smartest person at the water cooler tomorrow. I want you to put in the comments right now. We are spiritual beings having right here on earth a natural experience. At the core of who we are is spiritual beings. And I don't have time to break this down, but I can prove this if I had time to just walk through Genesis chapter 1 and 2. I got time to deal with this tonight, but I just need you to kind of take my word for it. And if somebody will remind me, I'll do a whole series on Genesis 1 and 2. It'll blow you away, because at the end of the day, we all got here through a spiritual experience. We all got here through a spiritual experience. What you mean through a spiritual experience? Well, I mean that when God created man, he literally put man to sleep and went in his spirit and pulled out a woman. I don't have time to deal with this, but I swear I feel like screaming in my house already, and I got to lower my voice and calm down. Did y'all hear what I said? We were here. We were born. We were placed on this earth as a byproduct of a spiritual experience. And so we are here, spiritual beings having a natural experience here on earth. When you understand that faith is at the core of who you are, when you understand that faith is at the core of who you are, you're a spiritual being, then you recognize that then faith has to be the foundation by which you live your life. You cannot live an impactful life without faith. Record it. I'm already knee deep in my notes. Record this. You cannot live a highly impactful life without faith. I need you to record this. You cannot live a highly impactful life without faith. You can live a life, but you're not going to live a highly impactful life without faith. How do we know this? Because many of the things that you will want to accomplish in your life will have to go deeper than your natural capability, watch, and tap into your spiritual capability. I'm going to say it again. Many of the great things you want to accomplish in your life are going to have to go deeper than your natural capabilities and tap into your spiritual capabilities. Some of the degrees you're going to receive in your life are greater than your natural abilities because you ain't the best student. And so it's going to require tapping into your spirit man, your spirit woman, or your faith for you to accomplish the degree, finish the degree that you want to finish. Some of you, let's face it, some of us don't have the smarts to run a business, to start a business. So the businesses that we have, the career success that we have is greater than our natural capabilities, but it really taps into the spiritual core of who we are. And at the spiritual core of who we are is faith. That's why the Bible says it is in him that we live, in him that we move, in him we have our being. It is critical that we understand that anytime you are dealing with a preposition called in, you are dealing with something that loses itself for something greater. I don't have time to teach to y'all tonight. I'm going to say it again. Anytime you are dealing with a preposition like the word in, you are dealing with something that loses itself for something greater. When you are attempting to accomplish great things in life, you have to lose yourself, your natural man, for something greater inside of you, your spiritual man. Thus, the Bible then says, greater is he that is in, preposition. Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world, which means when we say we can accomplish anything, we can say that because when God is in us, the thing that is in us is greater than the thing that is against us. Is this making sense to anybody? I feel like I'm talking in circles, and I truly feel like I'm preaching at y'all right now. Is this making sense? And so anytime we are dealing with faith, we are dealing with prepositions. Should I tone down the academic? Are y'all good? Anytime we are dealing with faith, we are dealing with a preposition. And the ultimate preposition is God. And that is when God is in us, we are then operating on a whole new different level of faith. And so again, we are, and again, I don't have time to just really go deeper into that. I could really make your head scratch today, but listen to me. We are spiritual beings having a natural experience here on earth. And understand that the reason we know that is because God is in us. Again, anytime something is in you, then it encompasses who you are. It consumes who you are. And so this is how faith works. When faith is really in you, it should consume who you are, which means you can't go to the doctor's office doubting when faith is in you, because faith has consumed you and won't allow you to think anything else but healing. You can't try to start a business in doubt when faith is in you. Why? Because even if you don't qualify on paper, even if you don't have degrees, what has consumed you inside of you is greater than any obstacle that's on the outside of you. That's what faith does. And so we cannot lose sight of that tonight. And it's so important that we realize it because, again, until you understand the necessity of faith, you will never realize the fact that you can't live an impactful life. You cannot live a highly impactful life without it. You will live an average life. You will live a mediocre life. You will live a life that is below your capabilities. You will live a life that is below the expectations that have been set for your life. You will live a life that is below average. You will live a life that doesn't quite meet the bar if you do not understand that it takes faith to have an exceptional, ordinary life. Now, again, I want to be real clear here. Some of you don't want an extraordinary life. Some of you made C's in school and you were excited. Some of you graduated, oh Lordy, and you were okay with that. And to each its own. But if you are going to live an exceptional life in any area of your life, it is going to require faith. You want a great business, it's going to require great faith. You want a great career, it's going to require great faith. Watch. You want a great relationship, it's going to require great faith, because I'm telling you, the streets are raggedy. You can get anybody, most of y'all can get anybody at any time in any way you want them. But if you want something of quality and of substance, it's going to require faith, right? This is important. Now, let's get to Romans chapter 10. Let me calm down, man. I'm telling you, man, I feel like teaching this tonight. Romans 10, verse number 13, New Living Translation. Are y'all following me? Is this making sense at all? All right? Is this making sense at all? Don't forget what I said about faith being a preposition. I really wish I had time to just deal with that. It's nerd talk, but I really wish I had time to deal with that. But don't forget faith. Don't forget what I told you about faith being a preposition. It's so important. Your faith has to be so great that it literally consumes you, that it literally lives in everything you pursue. I don't do nothing without faith being present. In fact, if I pursue something that doesn't require faith, what I'm pursuing ain't big enough. That's probably noteworthy. If you pursue something that does not require faith, you're not pursuing something big enough. Are y'all writing? If you pursue anything in your life that does not require faith, I'm here to tell you, you ain't even going to ask God. You can ask me. It ain't big enough. If the business you are trying to create doesn't require faith to start it, it ain't big enough. The relationships you want to be in, the circles you want to be connected to, friends you want to be connected to, whatever in your life don't require an element of faith, they ain't great enough. They common. It's that simple. Anything significant and substantial in your life will always require faith. And if it doesn't require faith, then that means it doesn't require God. And if it don't require God, it's probably not big enough. It's probably not significant enough. I got a better one than that. It's probably not even God. All right. And so we've got to stop going for things that don't require faith, because that's called the easy way out. That's called the easy way out. That's called the common way out. When we pursue things that don't require a great level of faith, we are pursuing things that are easy, that are simple. And I like that, Brother Jay. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's just not. Right? So again, if what you are requesting, if what you are pursuing in your life, if what you are going after in your life does not require faith, it's not big enough. It's not. It's not. I was playing with my vision board thing today on my computer. It's funny, it's the 18th of January. I haven't even had time to do my vision board. There's so many things going on. Good things, but so many things going on. I was playing with my vision board, and there's some things I'm not going to change. There's some things I'm going to keep and some things I want to modify, but my board won't change much. But I was laughing. There were some things on here that was just too small. And this thing really tickled me today, because some of the things on my vision board, I don't need God for. I got it. I mean, I can go to the bank and get it. Are y'all listening to me? I mean, there's some things I don't need them to do because my credit can handle that. Are y'all listening to me? See, when your credit can handle what you want, you don't need God. Y'all don't like this. Listen to me. You got to hear what I'm saying. When your credit can handle stuff, you don't need God. Your credit can handle that. Faith, Bible, is the substance of things that we hope for. You don't have to hope for nothing when your credit can handle it. I feel like I'm talking above y'all tonight. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. This is the easiest example I can give you. If you don't have a car and you got $10,000 right now in the bank, and you don't care what kind of car you get, you just need a car. You need something to get back and forth to work, right? You don't have a car. You got $10,000 in the bank. Your credit score is 850. Your credit score 850. You got $10,000 in the bank, and you don't care what kind of car you get. You just need a car because you're short of a car, and you need a car to get to work. Can I ask you all a crazy question? And this is going to sound so bad. This is going to sound like Pastor has lost God, and yes, but just listen to me. If your credit score is 850, you got 10,000 in the bank, and you need a car for work, you don't care what kind of car you get, you just need something to get back and forth A to B. Do you need God? Pastor, don't ask us questions like, do we? I hear some of y'all bucket. I need them every hour. I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all sit out this question. I'm not talking about you deep folk. Listen to me. You got $10,000 in the bank and an 850 credit score, and you just need a car, regular car. It could be a used or a new car. Just get it. Do you need God? No, you don't need them. That's right, Spencer. Says that you got 10,000 in the bank, you got an 850 credit score. You just don't. And that's an example of how we sometimes use faith for things that really we don't need to be using faith for. Let me tell you when you need faith. Watch this. When you want to start a business and acquire 5 properties, got credit score of about 700. You want to acquire 5 properties that are worth $2 million and your net worth ain't but about 200,000. Guess what you need? You need God. Why? Because the circumstances are greater than what it is that you have. So that it requires something within you being bigger than what's against you. Greater is he that is preposition in you than he that is against you. So when you want things that are bigger than what you got, I know that Sister Dr. Vance, they don't like this kind of teaching. I'm killing y'all tonight. When you want something that's bigger than your faith, then it requires something bigger than who you naturally are, which means you got to go inside of you to change what's on the outside of you. Let me help y'all. You want to change your health? Go to the gym, yeah, but then go inside of you and find something called faith that can change what's on the outside of you. You want to see your family members get saved? Watch this. Yeah, pray for them. Slap some oil on their head when they sleep if you want to. That's fine. But if you really want to see their lives change, go inside of you and find the thing inside of you that's greater than the circumstances looking at you. That's what faith does. Because faith says what you got going on the outside ain't enough. So you need to dig inside of you so that you can get something inside of you that's greater than what's up against you. Now look at my vision board. And I showed my board this. We had a conversation about a month or so ago. I showed my board something that I really want. And that's all I'll say, just something that I want. And I texted it to them while we were on this call. And I was looking, I had another thing on here from last year. I said, man, that ain't nothing. I can go to the bank and get that. I don't even need that on my vision board because my credit can handle that. But what I really want, that right there going to be a little bit bigger than what Pastor Holden. Let me put that on the board because that will require me, watch, to ignore external circumstances and find the preposition. Faith, I want y'all to record this right now. This is man, I'm trying to calm down. But I'm just trying to calm down. I want you to record this right now. You ready? Faith is the preposition that lives in you that is greater than what's against you. Faith is the preposition that lives in you that is greater than what's against you. Faith is the preposition that lives in you. Don said, this is a long sentence. Oh, well, I told you you'll be the smartest person at the water cooler this week. Faith is the preposition that lives in you that is greater than what's against you. You got to go after the preposition. And I'm telling you, if you're pursuing anything in your life that doesn't require you to go after the preposition, it ain't big enough. It's not big enough. I don't care what it is. House, relationship, car, healing, career, new degree, bay, whatever. If it don't require a preposition, that ain't enough. It's not enough. It ain't big enough. It's not going to satisfy the level of expectation that has been set on your future. You have to go after the preposition. That's a word by itself. All right. Where was I? Sorry, moderators. I got thrown off. Romans 10, verse 13. I got to finish tonight. I got to get through these 5 verses tonight. I have to. All right. And I got 20 minutes. All right. Romans 10, verse 13. New Living Translation says this. Here we go. For everyone, yeah, this is good, Dr. Vance, who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Let's deal with this, right? We talked about Romans 10, 9, 10, 11. We talked about no favorites in God as it relates to Jews and Gentiles. I shared that with you Sunday. I said this was a really good place to start. We talked about how church cliques, church folk have favorites. There are no favorites in God. And Paul takes it further. Says, really, whoever calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. In other words, doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. What saves you is your faith, not where you're from. What saves you is your faith, not your last name. What saves you is your faith, not your socioeconomic status. What saves you is your faith, not how you grew up and how disadvantaged you grew up or advantaged you grew up for that matter. What saves you is your faith. And Paul makes it plain here. He says, so much so that whoever calls on me will be saved. Now, look at verse 14. This is where it's going to get interesting. I'm in Romans chapter 10. I'm moving. Verse 14, New Living Translation. But how can they call on him to save them unless they believe in him? And how can they believe in him? There's the N again. If they have never heard about him. And how can they hear about him unless somebody tells them? This is good right here. I want to read that again. But how can they call on him to save them unless they believe in him? This is Peter saying, how can they call on Jesus unless they believe in him? And then how can they believe in Jesus if they've never heard about Jesus? Watch this. And then how can they hear about Jesus unless somebody tells them? Y'all ready? Record this. God gives you faith so you can give somebody else faith. Man, I want to do a part 4, but I'm going to stop tonight. God gives you faith so you can give somebody else faith. Wait a minute, Dr. Z, you telling me I can give people faith? I'm telling you tonight that your life, your testimony, the things you have overcome, the obstacles you have overcome, the obstacles that you're clearing right now, the stories that you're making right now with your life, the wins that you are getting right now in your life are the things that are so necessary, not only for your faith, watch, but are so necessary to give somebody else faith. Watch this. You know how? Because for most people, their first exposure to faith won't be God. Their first exposure to faith is going to be somebody else. I'm going to say it again. For most of us, our first exposure to faith was not God. Our first exposure to faith was somebody else. In other words, we learned about God through the experience of somebody else. And this is for all of you knuckleheads that think that what you went through in your life was by accident. What you went through in your childhood was by accident. The way you were mistreated was by accident. The illness that almost killed you was by accident. You don't even realize that faith, I like that, Steph. Faith is the best known word of mouth advertisement that has ever existed. Because when God does it for you, he does it so that you can put what he does for you into somebody else. This is why I want to speak to all of you that are watching live right now. Those of you that are tuned in watching the replay. Let me just say this to you right now. Every single week, Dr. Van says she's about to do the wobble in the living room. Listen to me. Every single week, you need to ask God to create an opportunity for you to give somebody else some faith. Watch this. You know what I pray for every morning? Yeah, I pray for y'all. I go through the prayer request list. I do that. I pray for my kids, my loved one. I pray, I do all of that stuff. But you know what else I pray? I say, God, do me a favor today. Allow me to say or do something that compels somebody else to see you. Y'all don't like the way I'm teaching. Every single morning, I say, God, let my life, let something I say or do compel somebody else to see that you live in me. You know what that's called? That's called taking your faith experience and asking God to put you in a position where you can give that faith to somebody else. Listen, y'all, the best Bible people gonna read is not the one sitting on your toilet stool with all them germs on it. The best Bible people gonna read is gonna be your life. And many of you don't even realize the abuse you went through as a child, the hurt you went through as a child, the hurt you went through in relationships, marriages, the hurt you went through in your careers, the bad times you went through in your finances, the bad times you went through in your relationships, the bad times you went through in your families, the bad times you went through in your health. All of these things that you went through and overcame were not accidental. When you did it, it was the faith in you that puts you in position to take that faith and put it in somebody else. Are y'all listening to me? I like that, Nick. Nick says somebody else's faith in God changed me. You understand? Most of y'all didn't hear from God directly your first time. You didn't. Your first contact with God was not a direct contact with God. It was what I call a secondary contact. Come on, weed smokers. Come on, weed smokers. Some of y'all never started smoking weed. Y'all don't like the way I'm teaching. I don't know where these analogies come from. They just make sense. Some of y'all never started smoking weed. Just right off the bat. Hey, I want some weed. Here's some weed. Nope. You know what made you curious? Look at them, Brother Antonio. They laughing and sweating. You know what made you curious before you hit the J? I'm sorry, Mama. Just log off, Mama. You know what made you curious before you hit the J? Thank you, Sister Spencer. The contact. Watch this. It was somebody else's experience. It was somebody else's experience that planted the seed in you to go after what they had. Doc, I ain't never heard nobody talk about faith in God and weed contacts in the same breath. You just did. It's a gift. I'm sorry. And that's how your faith gonna work. Somebody, hear what I'm saying. You don't even understand that the stuff you went through really wasn't for you. It was to create a contact for somebody else. So I hear you, Sister Nick. I'm going to use you as an example because you're my friend. Had challenges with her mom. Somebody else's testimony changed her. And now Nikki is growing up a successful businesswoman doing great. But I'm sure she can testify that it was my experience with mama that I didn't understand that created a contact that helped somebody else. That's how it works, y'all. And so go back to the verse, Romans 10, verse 14. How can they call on Jesus except they believe in him? And how can they believe in him if they never heard of him? Watch this. And how can they hear about him unless somebody tells him? Y'all ready for this? Let's go further. I'm about to get in trouble. I might do a live Thursday. Some of y'all already know what it's talking about. I had at least 38 people reach out to me about talking about this. And I think I might just break my schedule and give y'all 60 minutes Thursday and make everybody mad. But here we go. Look at verse 15. And how will anyone go and tell them without being sent? Your context, your version, King James Version, probably says, and how can he preach except he been sent? Look at verse number 15, B clause. That is why the scriptures say, how beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. You know what? This thing right here is good. You know what? I never understood the verse. Let me just share this revelation tonight really quickly. I got to wrap this up. Elder, I feel like losing my mind. I never understood the verse. Beautiful are the feet of messengers or those who bring good tidings or preach the good news. In other words, beautiful are the feet of preachers, people who give the good news of Jesus Christ. The Bible says that their feet are beautiful. And I never understood how or the context by which beautiful feet would be connected to a person who spreads the good news of Jesus Christ until I thought about this. You ready? When you spread the good news of Jesus Christ, you have to be willing, watch, to walk in environments that most people would not be willing to walk through. And so what makes your feet beautiful is the fact that you can carry your faith in spaces that a lot of people either cannot or will not carry their faith, and yet come out of those spaces, watch this, not only impacting where you've been, but having even more power to tell more people about your faith. I'm going to say it another way because that was a little complicated. What makes my feet beautiful is that it don't matter what condition I'm in. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. It doesn't matter what I'm dealing with. There's one thing that never changes. Greater is he that is in me. Here we go. Let's look at this in the natural. I don't know if I've got any doctors here. I'm a former athlete. If you are a former athlete, watch this. If you are a former athlete that plays a sport with tennis shoes and socks, you have probably heard of something called athlete's foot. I'm about to scream. You ready? This message should be breaking the internet. There is something called athlete's foot. You ready? Sister Spencer's on the line. Sister Ashley, I trust her medical credentials. Listen to me. There is something called athlete's foot. I am a former athlete. I've got 2 children that are athletes. Got brother that's athlete. I've got family athletes. Friend, listen, something called athlete's foot. And if you play any sport of any significant time where your feet have had to sweat in socks and shoes, you can get athlete's foot, feet. Now, the reason why you get athlete's foot is this. Talk to a doctor. Athlete's foot comes when perspiration and those things get trapped between your socks and your feet. Watch. And they tell you the way to overcome athlete's foot is this. Anytime you get, of course, you keep your feet clean, but try to keep your feet as dry as possible. And then clean your feet, but then dry them as dry as you possibly can. But then try to keep them moisturized without feeling trapped. Why? Because athlete's foot, when it shows up, is then a fungus that is within the skin that shows on the outside. I'm working this. Y'all give me a second. This is going to make sense. It's going to blow you away. If you're driving, you might wreck. If athlete's foot is a disease that starts in your skin, the Bible says, how beautiful are the feet of those that bring good tidings. If athlete's foot is what starts, it starts inside of you. It is a fungus that starts inside of you. Watch this. But it is controlled by how we treat the outside of our foot. Understand this, that the same way athlete's foot that is inside of you, the fungus that causes athlete's foot, feet, whatever, that is inside of you is controlled by how you clean your feet on the outside, is the same way faith on the inside of you protects you when you have to do things on the outside, which is why a good preacher, a good person who tells the good tidings of Jesus Christ, watch, can preach it in church or can preach it on the corner. It don't matter. Why? Because any place that his foot touches, because of what is on the inside of him, is going to be impacted by what's on the outside of his foot. In other words, I know, I feel like I'm not explaining this, I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm just getting excited. Any place his foot touches is going to be impacted because of what's on the inside of him. Which is why when you really got Jesus, and listen, this is greater than preachers. You ain't got to be no preacher. When you really got Jesus inside of you for real, you got a testimony inside of you for real, watch this. Let me just put this in English because maybe the foot example, athlete's foot, was just too much for y'all. Let me give y'all another example. You ready? Let me make this relate to y'all. Dr. Zeb, I ain't no preacher. Here we go. You know you really got Jesus for real if you ever been in a club. Yeah, I know. This ain't for everybody. You know you got Jesus for real if you ever been in a club and you had a drink in your hand, but somebody started talking to you in the club, then this ain't for everybody. Okay, so this ain't gonna make sense to most of y'all. But if you ever been in a club, or some of y'all been smoking a J, for real, and you really got Jesus inside of you, and somebody starts walking up to you and you in the club, and start saying, yeah, girl, yeah, man, I'm really struggling with this, man. I don't know how I'm going to make it. You know, I just really hope I can. And y'all dancing to the beat, got drinks in your hand. Guess what? Even in that external circumstance, when your faith is inside of you, it's greater than where you at. Watch this. And the same faith you got inside of you that works at church should be able to work at the club if you're still going. Should be able to work on your job if you're still going. See, what makes the feet of him that preached the gospel beautiful is that those feet, if they've been effective, ain't just been in the church. There's the revelation. It took me a minute. I'm here. Those feet on the person that gives the tidings of Jesus Christ, if they've been effective, they ain't just been in the church. They've been everywhere. Why? Because your faith will allow you to preach the message in a building. Your faith, I was telling my dad, we was laughing at my dad talking about the strip where our church is. I tell all the time, I walk up MLK all the time. My guys will tell you. I'll go with one at most two of my guys. One at the most two. My guys, I've been up there by myself, but they don't like me to walk up the street by myself. But they'll tell you, they've been with me. I walk up MLK by myself, and I got one or two of my guys with me. And when I'm walking up the strip, don't bother me. In fact, cars pull over and be like, "What's up, Rev? You need anything? You good?" I don't know about nobody else's testimony. That's mine. And so what makes my feet so beautiful is that whether it's on carpet or whether it's on the sidewalk where the prostitutes are, the faith that's inside of me never changes. Is this making sense to anybody? Yeah, that's what they read all the time. Yeah, Sister Ashley, you been with me? Y'all been with me out there, Outreach? Y'all know. And so that's what it means to have beautiful feet. The Bible says, New Living Translation. I like this translation because it takes preacher out of it. And it just simply says messengers. It says, how beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news, which means you can be a messenger with your life. You don't have to be no preacher to be no messenger. Some of y'all have stories where you could write a book right now and tell your story, and a lot of people would buy your story. You know why? Because there's a message behind your story. There's a message behind your journey. There's a faith walk behind your journey. That's what it is. Don't matter where you are. And sometimes, man, I be trying to chill and be low key. I was laughing at my kids because we were somewhere. Was this Saturday? Was this Friday before the snow? It was Friday before the snow. No, it was last Tuesday. We were at their practice, and some lady walked up and, "Hey, Dr. Taylor, how you doing?" I said, "Hey." Didn't bit more know who she was. "Hey, how you doing?" "Doing well. I hope you are doing good." "Listen, I tell you, you just really encouraged me." "Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. It's so good to see you again," she said. I said, "It's so good to see you too." I didn't know who she was. Here's the point. That didn't matter. Because guess where I won't, y'all? I won't in no church. I was in a gymnasium in some Under Armour pants, my gym gear, basketball gear, with a whistle around my neck. That's how it ought to be when you're a messenger of Jesus Christ. And that means the faith inside of you got to always be working. It does. So that if you're at the church, you can get a contact. If you're on the corner, you can get a contact. If you're talking to the saints, you can get a contact. If you're talking to the hoes, you can get a contact. Are y'all listening to me? If you're talking to the deacons and missionaries, you can get a contact. If you're talking to the drug dealers, you can get a contact. Ask the fellas. We walk up the strip. Sometimes we can't even get our food because the drug dealers, they don't even want the food. You know what they do? "Hey, Red, can you come pray for me real quick?" So what makes my feet beautiful? What makes your feet beautiful? It's the truth. Am I lying? Rehab, you on the line? Name the lie. Am I lying? Tell these people, I'm not lying. And we have not been on MLK but for about 4 years. It's the truth. It's the truth. And it's the truth. They don't even, the Jordans don't even want the food. They don't want the food. They be like, Rev, man, can you pray for me real quick? And they don't want you to put your hands all on them and all that stuff. So it's a handshake. They dap you. They come in. You put your hand on their back. They put their hand on yours. And you praying. It look like you gripping each other, but you praying. So what makes your feet beautiful is when your faith can be up. I miss outreach too, Sister Ashley. That is one thing I miss about being in person. I cannot wait to get back to outreach. I miss it bad. What makes your faith awesome is that you have the ability to have God in a building. You have the ability to have God anywhere you go. All right? Look at this. Verse 16 and 17, I'm done. I got to wrap this up. Look at this. But not everyone, I'm in Romans chapter 10, verse 16. Boy, that athlete's foot example was heavy. And I might have to go back and revisit that because I felt like I explained it, but it was a little cloudy. And I hate to not be clear when I explain things. But I'm going to have to go back and really work that for y'all. And I ain't going to forget it. Let me just type that so I don't forget. Whoa, that was heavy. Look at this. Romans 10, verse 16. But not everyone welcomes the good news. For Isaiah the prophet said, Lord, who has believed our message? Which means when you carry in the message of Jesus Christ, when you got faith inside of you, not everybody's going to welcome your story. Not everybody's going to welcome your testimony. Not everybody's going to welcome the testimony of Jesus Christ. Not everybody's going to welcome it. Watch this. Now, I know a lot of you had a lot to say about this tape that went around, Spitgate. I'm not going to deal with that on this platform. I may deal with this Thursday on my personal network. Like I said earlier, I've had about 37. I stopped counting around 37, 38. People ask me, what is my take? And I got a take on it. And it's simple. I think everybody crazy. I think everybody got some guilt in this. I said it. That's church folk. That's non-church folk. That's preachers. That's non-preachers. That's atheists. That's everybody. I think everybody's equally guilty in what this man did. And that's all I'm going to say. And it's not to criticize him. I might deal with that Thursday. I may not. I'm still thinking about it because it's going to be ugly. Everybody getting smacked. But hear me and hear this in love. Understand this, that regardless of his approach, what he attempted to do with the message was try to convey a message. Now, again, I'm not going to spend my time talking about this because I couldn't even watch the video. I thought it was one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm just going to be honest with you. I couldn't even watch it all the way through. I saw the hocking in the hand and I turned it. I don't want to see that. Okay? I just thought it was nasty. And I wouldn't dare do that to nobody. I wouldn't even think about that. And again, this isn't criticism on him. It's not. I'm not going there tonight. I'm just not going to make this tape about this. But understand this. This is a perspective of this that I want all of you to hear tonight. Whether he spit or not, there's some people that would never receive his message. I ain't never spit on nobody, and people struggle receiving my message. They struggle, which means you can have faith inside of you, and everybody ain't going to receive you. And you've got to get to a place where you're okay if everybody doesn't receive you. I said this a few Sundays ago, and I'm going to say this again. When you operating in faith, you're not operating in a space where you need people to understand you. And if you are operating in a space where you need people to understand you, you are not operating in faith because they don't always match. Sometimes, most times, when you're operating in faith, people won't get you at all. You're not going to make a lot of sense. The moves you make are not going to make a lot of sense. And I think what he did was an effort to try to do that, to exercise some layer of faith through his demonstration to bring across a point. And it was a badly chosen approach. He admitted that. All right. So, but catch the greater point. And the greater point again, because I'm not going to make this about that. The greater point again is this: you're not going to always be received when you're operating in faith. And that's okay. That's okay. When you operate in faith, you're going to be going after things that are not easy to go after. So you don't always expect people to receive you. You don't always expect people to receive the idea that you can acquire 5 buildings with a 650 credit score and you only make $50,000 a year to start a business. Everybody ain't gonna receive that. They're not, and that's okay. That is what faith is for. That's what faith is for. All right. So again, verse 17. So then, faith comes from hearing. That is hearing the good news of Jesus Christ. And I don't have time to deal with this other than to say this. Faith, your faith will always be connected to what you hear. I want you to record this. Your faith will always be connected to what you hear. Your faith will always be connected to what you hear. Your faith will always be connected to what you hear. If you want to grow in faith, glad you know rehab not going. I wouldn't dare try that. Look, man, y'all know better. Are y'all serious? Sister Ash, I can't believe you said that. Y'all know better. Your faith will always be connected to what you hear. Always be connected to what you hear. And again, y'all, I mean, it's like y'all forcing my hand. Probably Thursday, 8:08 p.m. Eastern time. I think I'm going to just deal with this. I'm going to deal with the Spitgate thing, and I'm going to prove to y'all why everybody's at fault. Okay, I'm going to probably just deal. I don't really want to do this. I got enough enemies. I do. I got enough people that already think I'm not saved. Like they think I've lost it, and I haven't. I'm crazy. I see things in a much deeper way, and I ain't afraid to say it. So I might deal with that Thursday, 8:08 p.m. Eastern time, because y'all forcing my hand. And it's just going to be ugly. It's going to be a bloody bad. Church folk going to be mad. Non-Christians going to be mad. Preachers going to be mad. People who hate the church going to be mad. Everybody going to be mad. Everybody going to be mad. Because there's enough blame to go around. All right. So we may talk about that Thursday. But your faith will always be connected to what you hear. If you want to grow to a place of unshakable faith, you have to be very careful to monitor what you hear, what you allow to be consumed into your spirit, what you allow to be consumed, the eyes or the gateway to the spirit, right? Even the things that we see, the things that we watch are critically important. I heard somebody on YouTube say this the other day, and it's so important. She was talking about how she doesn't even listen to everybody, even on YouTube. YouTube is one of those networks where everybody can set up a channel, everybody can have something to say. And that's the downside of social media. Social media literally gives everybody a microphone. It does. It gives everybody a microphone. And you got to be careful with that, because some of the stuff you listen to that you digest in your spirit can certainly impact your faith. There's some people that don't believe in God right now because they've been listening to the wrong people. There's some people that have been led astray by crazy doctrine because they have been listening to the wrong people, right? And so what we hear, what we listen to by far is not only a gateway into our spirit, but it is also a gateway into our faith. I'm done, y'all. I got to stop here. Woo-wee. Y'all sure y'all want some of this Thursday on my channel? I don't think y'all want some of this. Did this bless anybody today? Did this bless anybody today? Yeah, it's just going to be bad. Thursday's going to be bad. Y'all pray for Pastor. Can y'all do that? Y'all do me a favor the next couple of days. Can y'all just pray for Dr. Zayab? Pray for me, because it's going to be ugly. Some of y'all going to be mad at me. You got a prayer request today? I want you to type it in the prayer request now. I'm ready to pray for you. I'm up now, back up 4:45 in the morning, 4:40 now in the morning, and pray over your prayer requests right before I work out. And I want you to know that I am indeed praying for you. If you've got a prayer request, I want you to type it in the comments right now. Yeah, I'm going to need security on Thursday, and it's going to be mainly from church folk. It might be from non-church folk too. Who knows? Because the non-church folk are guilty of this are one of the reasons why this man spit too. I'm gonna prove all of it. What? How can people that don't go to church be guilty for this man spitting? I'll prove it. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna prove it. Everybody gonna be mad at me. I don't care. You got a prayer request? I want you to type it in the comments right now. I want to pray for you this week. I want to pray for your circumstances. I want to pray for anything that you're dealing with. I'm going to give you 30 seconds because I am 8 minutes over. And I want to pray for you. You can type your prayer request in the comments, or you can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. You can email your prayer request there. And I'll be happy to pray for you. Do me a favor. You got 20 seconds. Type in your prayer request now. I want you to know I'm praying for those of you that are still dealing with the virus, that are still dealing with illness, that are still dealing with challenges in your family. I'm praying for those of you that have struggling businesses right now. Many people are struggling financially in their careers and their business as a result of the virus and the things that are going on in their climate. I'm praying for you. I am certainly praying for our legislators and the passing of better voting rights. It's so critically important that everybody has the right and the ability to vote, that their voice is heard. And these are things that are inalienable rights to all of us as human beings. And I'm praying that God gives wisdom to those folks that have been nominated into office, elected into office, to ensure that everybody has a voice and the ability to place a check. And so I'm praying for them. I'm praying for all of you for direction, clarity, healing, miracles, growth in your life, in every area of your life, that God might continue to show himself strong. I'm praying for your children. I'm praying for the people connected to you. I'm praying for the people, your spouses, your loved ones, your coworkers, colleagues. I'm praying for your managers. I'm praying for your employees. I'm praying for everybody concerning you, that God this week would continue to make ways, open up heaven for all of us, and pour out blessings like only he can. Do me a favor, connect your hands like this as a sign, a symbol of faith. Would you do me a favor, connect your hands like this as a sign, a symbol of faith? I see you, Sister Ashley. I'm certainly praying for scholarships. I thought about Sister Z today, that's at the University of Minnesota. Thought about her earlier today, just randomly. And I'm praying for every young person that is in college, that is thinking about going to college, that is preparing for college, that God would make ways in a special way. Connect your hands like this as a sign, a symbol of faith. Touch and agree with me. Let's pray right now. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for this word. Thank you for this time of gathering you've given us. I pray that something was said or done that has encouraged somebody, that has convicted somebody to want to live you, serve you, and do the will and work of your kingdom. Through this word, I pray that we might continue to grow and be better vessels of your kingdom, that we might not just be hearers of your word, but that we might be doers also of the things that we hear. Now, God, I ask that you would protect our hearing. We understand that our faith comes by what we hear. So even guard our hearing. Give us the spirit of discernment to know the difference between what we should listen to and what we should walk away from, what we should entertain and what we should turn away from. Give us that kind of wisdom so that in all of our ways, we might be able to acknowledge you, and then you in turn might direct our paths. Now, God, for every prayer request that's been typed in this broadcast, that has been typed through the replay, that has been emailed to our inbox, we lift these prayer requests up to you now, that you would answer the prayers of your people as only you can. Make ways as only you can. Open doors as only you can. Meet needs as only you can. We thank you, God, for a week that will be filled with miracles, open doors, made ways, brand new opportunities for your people, healed bodies, mental clarity, emotional strength, whatever the need is of your people. God, do it this week. And God, we will continue to give your name glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name, amen. Do me a favor, type in the comments real quickly. It is so. Would you do that for me? Type in the comments really quickly. It is so. It is so. It is so. Come on, quickly. If you prayed that prayer of faith with me, I want you to type in the comments real fast. It is so. It is so. I'm telling you, every time you say amen, you are simply saying it is so. You're saying, God, it's done. I believe you for it. I don't have to wait on it. It is so is a future statement that is spoken in the present. You hear what I'm saying? It is so is a futuristic statement that is spoken in the present, where you're simply saying, God, I'm telling you, I know it's already done. It is so. Come on. Every time you say amen, it is so is all you're simply saying. And it puts into motion God moving on our behalf concerning the things for our lives. Listen, y'all, really quickly, I want to challenge you to give tonight. This message of this ministry has been a blessing to you. This broadcast has been a blessing to you. I want to challenge you to give. You can give one of three ways. You can give via CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org. Or you can give by texting REHABWORKS to 88202. That's by texting REHABWORKS to 88202. And either one of those three ways, you can give and be a blessing to our ministry tonight as a result of this word. I want to challenge you to give your tithes. I want to challenge you to sow a seed tonight and watch God bless you as only He can. Again, Cash App, $REHABCCGIVE, website, www.rehabcc.org. Choose online giving, or you can text REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202. And right to your cell phone, you'll see that prompt. Follow that prompt, and you can give right from there. Listen, many of you were alerted today from the United States Postal Service that they are now sending COVID tests to homes free of charge. I think it's 4 or 5 tests per home. I don't have the link handy because I'm talking. It is actually in my cell phone. But if you know that link, please share that link with your family, your friends. I want to encourage all of you to get those free tests sent to your house so that if anyone in your home gets sick or starts feeling symptoms, you all can test in your home. You can have access to those tests, and we can help to work together to slow the spread of this virus so that things can return to as close to normal. They will never be the same. I'm here to tell you they will never be the same. But hopefully they can return to as close to normal as possible. And so find that link. You can probably find it on the United States Postal Service. If you would just go to Google, type in United States Postal Service COVID test, and you will probably see that link there. But go find that link and make sure you share it. Thank you so much. I see somebody on the Facebook and YouTube chat posted it there. Click on that link. Make sure you order those tests for your household. And let's do everything we can to keep each other safe. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make plans to tune in and join us this Sunday, 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another very powerful live word. I understand they're calling for snow again Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, from what I understand. My kids have games this weekend. I don't know if I wanted the snow on Friday and Saturday, but I don't mean no harm. But about Sunday night at about 5 o'clock, we can get 14 more inches. And Pastor would not blink another eye. But I'm praying for all of you. Please stay safe, stay warm. I love you guys. I'm rooting for you. I want you to have a phenomenal week. Continue to pray for me. Thank you, Elder Misty. She's put it up in the Instagram chat. If you have not ordered that test, click on that link. But I hope you all are praying for me. I'm praying for you. And if I don't see you this Thursday, for those of you that are on my personal network, we will see you this Sunday, 9:08 a.m., right here on the Rehab Christian Center for another powerful word. All right. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. Have a fantastic week. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.